Imagine standing on the North American plains in the dead of winter. The temperature is 20 below, the wind is howling, and the landscape is buried under 3 feet of snow. It looks like a frozen wasteland, completely stripped of food and shelter. Yet for thousands of years, the indigenous peoples living here didn't see an empty, hostile void. They saw a fully stocked pantry and a living pharmacy, if you knew exactly where to look. You might walk right past a birch tree and see this black, charred-looking mass clinging to the trunk. It looks like a scar from a forest fire. But that mass is a lifeline. Surviving the deepest freezes didn't require fighting the elements with brute force. It required identifying the specific biological processes occurring beneath the frost. The real danger of winter is the biology of the human body. When you survive for months almost entirely on preserved meat from the autumn hunt, you face a severe nutritional deficit. Your body runs out of vitamin C, leading to the fatal onset of scurvy. The solution was buried underground. The prairie turnip, known to the Lakota as timsula, is a highly nutritious root vegetable that women would gather, dry, and store in buffalo skin bags to prepare for the lean times. This chart shows exactly why that root was a matter of life and death. A winter meat diet provides a near-zero baseline of vitamin C, but 100 grams of prairie turnip delivers 17.1 milligrams, providing the exact margin needed to survive until spring. Above ground, that charred mass on the birch tree was doing similar heavy lifting. That is the chaga fungus. It's actually a fungal organ called a sclerotium. It acts as a defensive control center, synthesizing a dense concentration of immune-supporting compounds to protect itself from the host tree, like a suit of fungal armor. Peoples like the Khanty and the Skolt Sami of Northern Europe figured out how to extract that armor. By brewing and simmering chunks of processed chaga into a dark tea, they created a potent drink rich in antioxidants and immune-weaponizing properties. The dormant winter forest was actually actively providing the essential chemistry required to keep human immune systems functioning. When March arrives, the ice finally breaks. The Anishinaabe call this season Ziigwan. The forest's biological clock resets, triggering a massive upward movement of water. Inside the sugar maple tree, the alternating freeze of the night and the thaw of the day creates intense internal pressure. This pressure drives sweet, energy-rich sap up from the roots and rapidly through the trunk. Indigenous families would relocate to dedicated sugar camps to tap these trees. They worked around the clock to collect and boil the sap down, eventually crystallizing it into maple sugar, a highly portable, long-lasting, and dense carbohydrate. Right alongside the maple grows the paper birch, or Ziigwan. If the maple provided the energy, the birch provided the essential infrastructure. Birch bark is naturally waterproof and packed with wax. When you look closely at the stitched seams and sealed joints of a traditional canoe, you see a material perfectly suited for preserving food in storage baskets and for building lightweight hulls capable of carrying 2 tons of cargo across the northern waterways. Harvesting sap and peeling bark in the spring secured the absolute necessities for the year. It provided calories to move, vessels to navigate the rivers, and store the autumn harvest. Later in the summer, the harvest moved to the upland valleys. Entire communities would gather massive piles of underground resources, like these thick, dark balsam root taproots and avalanche lily bulbs. But there was a major biological obstacle to eating these roots. Raw balsam root is packed with a complex carbohydrate called inulin, which the human digestive system simply cannot break down. Eating it straight out of the ground provides almost no energy. Indigenous cooks solved the problem by burying roots in underground pits with superheated rocks, sustaining temperatures near 100 degrees Celsius for 24 hours. Under that sustained heat, the complex chain of inulin molecules physically breaks apart into simple, highly digestible fructose units. That chemical conversion turns an indigestible root into a sweet, high-calorie food. And because those sugars provide a slower burn than modern simple carbohydrates, they offered sustained energy without the crash, perfect for drying and packing away for the coming winter. The forest also provided advanced chemistry for pain relief. The leaves and bark of the white willow contain high levels of salicylic acid. By steeping this plant into a tea, indigenous healers administered the active ingredient in aspirin centuries before European scientists synthesized it in a lab. Living in the northern forest required mastering applied botany, chemistry, and thermodynamics. Without the ability to alter this plant chemistry, human life here would be impossible. This raises an important ecological question. If multiple nations were harvesting thousands of pounds of roots, stripping tree bark, and tapping sap every single year, why didn't the forest ecosystem collapse? The answer lies in the exact methods of harvest. When gathering wild mountain leeks, known as ramps, foragers wouldn't pull the whole plant out of the soil. They carefully cut the stem above the root, or left the central bulb perfectly intact, ensuring the plant would regenerate the following spring. That exact same care applied to wildlife. If a harvester found a rodent's winter cache of roots, they might take a portion to eat, but they would always leave behind seeds or grains in the burrow as an equal trade, so the animal wouldn't starve. This system of stewardship treats the environment as a community of relatives. It operates on a generational logic that stands apart from modern industrial models, which prioritize immediate profit and exhaust the land until it is abandoned. The Cherokee hold a belief that long ago, when the animals became angry with human hunting and created diseases, the plant stepped in to help. Every grass, shrub, and tree decided to create a specific remedy to combat human illness. But the plants asked for something in return. Before taking a leaf or a root, a person must introduce themselves, ask the plant for permission, and take strictly what is needed to ensure the community and the forest survives.